Hey guys, we've got a big energy week to talk about this week, kind of starting off with a bang. We've got the moon in Sagittarius making a big trine in the sky with the planet Jupiter. People could be just having some very expansive feelings or emotional reactions, or just feeling very inflated in one way or another to start our week. Now, this is a significant week energetically. We have our once yearly Sun-Uranus conjunction that is happening in the sky this week. Expect the unexpected, you guys. This is probably not going to be a week where things go according to their normal schedule, normal routine, normal plans. This is the energy that comes through every year. Once a year, we have this alignment, and it tries to shake us out of any type of rut. It tries to spice up our lives. It tries to bring some type of an exciting or like exhilarating energy to whatever we've got going on, and as a result it has a tendency for us to perhaps be acting in some strange or unusual ways, or to just be experiencing some out of the ordinary situations that are transpiring around us. So we've got that going on this week. This is also happening in the sign of Taurus, indicating perhaps some big financial or relationship based shakeups that are accompanying this period of time. We also have some nodal activations that are very prominent in the energy field this week. The North Node and the South Node, you guys, are finally changing degrees in the sky. They have been stationary for the past 2 months, building into our eclipse season. We've got the last eclipse behind us now as of the lunar eclipse full moon that we just had over this past weekend, and we are moving forward. Things are moving, you guys. Progress is being made, endings and beginnings, but more so weighted to the new beginnings now. So lots to talk about. Let's get into this chart of the day. We're looking at Monday and Tuesday, what may or may not be unexpectedly coming at us over this period of time, and perhaps what we can or cannot anticipate on the ground in the context of this Uranus expect the unexpected energy this week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, May 8th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages, looking at our current transition into the age of Aquarius under a microscope as it's coming together in terms of our activations on a daily basis, the frequency adjustments that this is making within our energy bodies, and how that is ultimately transitioning us into this new age. So that's what we do on this channel. We're also going to be looking at some tarot cards at the end of this video. If you guys want to stick around for that, I like to read the energy field from more than one modality. So we're looking at astrology. We're also going to be looking at the tarot, and there may be some messages for you there. So stick around with me for that. But let's get into the astrology. We need to start with the astrology, of course, and it is likely to be a very big week. This is a huge energy week, and we start out that way, and then we sort of roll into this Uranus Sun energy that could really be, again, like electrifying the field. Uranus is the lightning planet, and there could honestly be a greater sense of sort of like anxiety, like anxious energy, sort of just like this high speed, high frequency, like kind of an ungrounded energy that we're dealing with, specifically Monday and into Tuesday. But then, you know, over the course of the week, actually, as we go through the week and the moon moves through the sign of Capricorn, this should ground things a bit, but there is just a very sort of like high octave energy that may have us sort of levitating a couple inches above the ground over the course, especially like to start this week and moving through this week strong again on Monday and Tuesday. Now, one of the reasons, aside from the Sun-Uranus conjunction, that I'm saying we're starting in this big energy this week is because in the energy on Monday to start our week, we have the moon transiting the late degrees of the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Whenever we have a Sag moon going on, this is often a time where we have just like an expansive level of emotional energy, because the moon is our emotions and our feelings, like what's going on inside of us. Sagittarius, of course, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion. This is also usually a time period where we're feeling a bit more like jovial and hopeful and positive and optimistic about stuff, maybe a bit more like confident and full of ourselves in one way or another. So we've got this vibe playing out, right? Because the moon is in Sagittarius, so that's the general way that this energy expresses. But then we also add that the moon is transiting the late degrees of Sagittarius, and therefore will be making a trine in the sky to Jupiter himself, currently at like one of the very last degrees in the sign of Aries. So Jupiter in the end of Aries, Jupiter in the sign of Mars, and this other fire sign. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is of course a fire sign, but Jupiter in the sign of Aries, this is also a very like expanded firepower energy. And Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter rules truth, wisdom, it rules belief, faith, trust, hope, right? So when we have it in the sign of Aries, which is a sign of the self, the sign of forward momentum, like starting new things, taking risks, going going in a new direction, it brings this inherent sense of like trust and faith and belief in ourselves in an expanded way, some expanded motivation and assertiveness and courage and an ability to just like want to like move forward and like start something new, and it's a very action oriented energy. So when we add the moon in the late degrees of Sagittarius forming a trine to Jupiter, who rules the moon in Sagittarius, in the very end of Aries, this is going to bring a huge emotional energy, okay? This is a really big energy. Of course, Jupiter in the sign of Aries, this is already a bigger energy because it's ruled by Mars. Mars is our energy body. So we've got the moon, which is our emotions, forming the trine to Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, in the end of Sagittarius as well. You know, the closer we get to that last critical degree, the more the Aries energy is accentuated as well. And so there could just be like a very sort of like over the top emotional expression of energy going on with people. People are probably going to be a bit larger than life, I would say, in the energy to start off this week. Now, when we put this notion into the context, of course, of the Sun-Uranus conjunction as well, what we have is this, there could just be some, Jupiter's also, Sagittarius, Jupiter, this is also a very freedom-oriented energy. There could be some big feelings driving some expansive needs to liberate ourselves from something, to rebel against something, to create a personal revolution, to do something like new and drastic and dynamic that perhaps we haven't been able to bring ourselves to do in the past, to just radically change something, to like totally like switch up a situation or a scenario. So, you know, don't expect this to be your average week, you guys. Chances are that out of the ordinary things will be very much transpiring and characterizing what goes on. Don't expect people to be acting normal. In fact, like, it's probably in your best interest, like I said, to, you know, expect the unexpected, be very adaptable about things, and, you know, go through life as more of like the observer of the things that are transpiring and what's going on with people, and less like emotionally attached and reactive to whatever, however people are behaving in this energy. Because I will tell you, you guys, whatever's going on, like however people are acting, it is most likely like not personal. Like if somebody's got something going on with you and they're supposed to meet you at a certain time and they just don't show up, or, you know, somebody's supposed to contact you about something, or you got a plan and it just goes haywire at the last minute, try not to take it personal, because it is most likely in relation to an inner issue that that individual has been working through, that for some reason they just need to like shift gears and like change up a dynamic of whatever they have going on for some reason that has to do with like their own inner world, and not as much to do with like, you know, whoever it is that, you know, that commitment or that plan or that obligation or that whatever that they aren't following through with, you know, had to do with. So, you know, the ways that people are acting weird in the energy this week are more to do about like a need to adhere to a personal sense of authenticity, or to free ourselves or liberate ourselves from something. And it is in our best interest not to take people's weirdness personally and think that like it has really anything to do with us, because I don't think that it does. It's just the way that this energy is operating and working out. So, you know, this big blast of these very fired up vibed energies to start our week, and in the context also of these shocks and these surprises and these like unexpected shifts and changes, and just the more unusual, bizarre, or erratic behavior going on from other people, not wanting to adhere again to like rules, like needing to like resist or to rebel against authority figures. Like this could also be part of the display that people are putting on over this week, and specifically again like Monday and Tuesday. People are probably, it's like there could just be a fire that is being lit under people, and it's like a sense of urgency maybe to like change something, to get something done, to like, again, this energy also wants to like spice things up for us and like bring us back to life and help us to like get out of any rut and like change up the mundane and like stimulate us on these deeper internalized levels, especially with the moon forming the trine in Sagittarius as well. So it's really almost like a lot of the emotional energy that could be playing out in terms of these big feelings that maybe we're coming in contact with in the energy on Monday could definitely be driving or pushing or leading or, you know, like cause and effect type of thing with the different bizarre, unusual plans, behaviors, actions, conversations, whatever we've got going on, or just a desire to do something different, to take a risk perhaps with the Jupiter Aries energy as well, to start something new, riding just very high and expanded emotional energy playing into the Sun Uranus conjunction. So that's what we're looking at, guys. But we have more energy to talk about that is accompanying this Jupiter moon energy and the Uranus Sun so close proximity conjunction. I mean, we're only 1 degree out in the energy on Monday. Venus is also entering the sign of Cancer. Now, I do feel like and we have Venus at 0 degrees of Cancer on Monday. And it's interesting because we've got 2 planets now again at 0 degrees. We've got Venus at 0 degrees of the sign of Cancer, where she will move now this week and begin forming a grand trine in water with Saturn in the South Node. This week, I'm telling you guys, this is the end. This is cutting ties. This is karmic release of specifically like relationship patterns and cycles that have lost their value to us, or that are not productive to our growth, or that are just no longer like beneficial, or that we just don't really want or desire to be in anymore. So that's coming. But anyways, Venus and Pluto 0 degrees of their signs in the sky on Monday. There could be kind of like an intense focus actually on relationships or partnerships or financial stuff. Another thing, you guys, this Sun Uranus conjunction, we are in Uranus season. Shocks and surprises, sudden upsets, shifts and changes for the purpose of writing things in the sign of Taurus, finances, economies, supply chains, resources, food, value-based everything. I do think we are in some and I've been saying this for a while now, I think we are in some very critical times in terms of financial and economic shifts and changes that may suddenly begin to occur in kind of maybe some unexpected ways that have some rather large impacts. Now, maybe, and over this next couple weeks throughout this month of May. But back to Venus being, and I think, Venus, and I'm saying that because Venus and Pluto both at 0 degrees, like Venus is finances as well. Like this is also indicated. And not only that, now I'm getting ahead of myself, but the nodes are finally changing degrees for the first time in 2 months. Thank heavens. And the North Node is going to be hitting the Chiron point, which is all about value, worth, and money as well in the sign of Taurus. Like we are in like some, a very specific window for some major like financial, economic based changes. But anyway, and I'll talk more about that as we get into the energy for Tuesday. But anyways, let's stick to Venus entering the sign of Cancer on Monday. Now, I do think this is softening things. This is softening the vibe, this is softening the tone. This is making us a bit more like softer and compassionate in like our expressions of love, or in our ability to just be more in tune with our feminine energy generally. Although, at the critical 0 degree with Pluto there, things could also be quite intense. But with Venus in the sign of Cancer, this is just a more caring, nurturing, like empathetic energy, especially in the context of Mars having been transiting the sign of Cancer by himself for this past few weeks. Now that we have Venus there, this is just definitely going to, I feel like, remove maybe a level of confrontation that has been especially going on within like families and homes and groups, and also just like soften the way that we are relating to each other, and that we are caring for each other, and that we are kind of just like bringing a greater sense of maybe compassion and empathy in the relations, the interpersonal relations, the social connections, what's going on within the home and family, than the Venus Gemini with Mars in the sign of Cancer may have been giving us. This is also, I feel like, putting an even stronger focus, like driving it internally. Us desiring maybe to be a bit more introverted, or to be, in the shell a little bit more, Cancer the crab, or just more focused on the home, the family, community, heart and soul based stuff. Also self-care as well, very much promoted into this energy. And like I said, Venus now moving into the sign of Cancer, setting up this grand water trine with Saturn in the sign of Pisces. We know all about this. And also the South Node in the sign of Scorpio. Saturn in the South Node, both about karma, both about release, both about hard lessons that we've learned, and, what's no longer good for us. And as Venus comes into this trine in Cancer over this next couple weeks, I feel like we are going to be letting go of relationships or even family dynamics perhaps that have been toxic to us in any way, that have been holding back our heart, that have been impacting our heart and our soul. We're talking about Venus in the sign of Cancer. This is a very this always to me brings up themes of the heart and soul generally, because we're talking about Venus ruling the heart in the sign of Cancer ruled by the moon. This is the soul. So these type of things, whatever is suffocating or, limiting Saturn, repressing, holding back, holding down, or the South Node in Scorpio, toxic or poisonous to what is in the best interest of caring for the sign of Cancer, right? Nurturing, compassion, care for our heart and our soul. The trine, this is facilitating energy. We're releasing that. We're letting it go. We're detoxing it. We're breaking the karmic structures that we've existed, frameworks that we've existed within in regards to these relationship or family-based dynamics that maybe have been toxic, like I said, to our heart or suffocating our soul in any type of way. So we've got that energy kind of washing, purifying, cleansing us on this heart and soul-based level this week as well. And I do feel, while it could be bringing up some very nostalgic or difficult or also themes of the past, Mercury retrograding in the sign of Taurus as well, which is ruled by Venus. There could be a focus on past relationships, past people, past ways that we have related to people that we want to change in some way now. But Venus ruling, the sign of Taurus where the Uranus-Sun conjunction is as well, this is also what is up for massive change. So again, I keep saying this, I feel like as we are narrating the shift of the ages, as we are in this very critical month, in this significant year, in this transitional process that is all about endings and beginnings and acting as sort of a bridge from one world to another as we go through all of these huge shifts and changes this year in alignment with our transition of ages. The major, theme this week in that process is awakening Uranus and the sun together. This is also an electrifying, awakening aspect to the truth of some type of value so that we can cut ties, break cycles, break patterns in regards to, changing preferences as well. What we've loved, what we valued, who we've loved, who we've valued, who we've been, what we've associated with in the past that we feel is not fitting us anymore, is not promoting our growth, is not contributing to the expansion of our potential really right now. And you guys, we also have Jupiter about to enter the sign of Taurus on the 16th, I believe it is, and this is going to be about expanding potential as well, but also in the context of some of these major shifts that are going on to fix any distortion of value or worth that maybe we have been operating under for an extended period of time. So it'll be very interesting next couple of weeks, closing out this month of May. Could be some very intense things going on, but that's essentially what we're looking at for the energy for Monday. We've got this very expansive emotional energy. Don't be surprised if people are kind of maybe whipped up in something, passions are running high, people are really wanting to start something, being very adamant about getting something moving or doing something different or making some type of big change. This is people may be feeling again very overinflated or grandiose, type of energy might be definitely coming through as well. But with Venus entering the sign of Cancer, this is also, I do feel softening the vibe maybe just a little bit, but for sure, to start the week, again, don't be surprised if there's just different stuff going on. If your schedule just looks very unusual this week in the context of, how things are usually going for you. But and also I wanted to mention the Sabian symbols of the sun and the earth for Monday. The earth is 18 Taurus, a woman airing an old bag through a sunny window to give it air and sunshine. And the earth is at 18 Scorpio, a woods rich in autumn coloring. So airing things out, you guys, freshening things up, blasting some fresh, new, unusual, out of the ordinary experiences to turn the light back on or re-stimulate something, bring something back to life, just generally freshen up the vibe. Also, the woods rich in autumn coloring in the context of these transitions and these transformations and these endings and beginnings and this, cycle of death and rebirth, know that we are very, very, very much so immersed in right now in this month of May 2023 and in this 2023 year generally, in the context of all of these big transits and changes that we have going on this year energetically. So let's move on and talk about the energy for Tuesday now. This is the big day where we have Sun and Uranus come into conjunction. As I said, this happens once a year when we have the exact alignment in the sky going on between the Sun and Uranus and whatever sign Uranus happens to be in. It takes Uranus about 7 years to transit any sign, so there will be like about a 7-year period where our Uranus-Sun conjunctions are happening in the same sign, and then they will switch and we'll have 7 years of Sun-Uranus conjunctions in the next sign. But right now we're in the sign of Taurus, and you know, as we have been, Uranus is a good about halfway through the sign. So we're about halfway through our Uranus-Taurus transit. So we've got another one. We've got another Sun-Uranus conjunction going on. And before I even I cannot talk today. I'm going to tell you guys, I have been having such a hard time getting the words out of my mouth in alignment with what's going through my brain. This entire video, the Mercury retrograde energy is hitting me thick today as I'm shooting this video. So bear with me, and I'm gonna try to just get these rest of these words out. But 19 degrees of Taurus, this is the Sabian symbol where this activation is occurring. The Sabian symbol, which I personally absolutely love. I think that this is very descriptive of where we're at right now. Generally, a new continent is rising out of the ocean. To me, this is very Age of Aquarius oriented degree, because it's this new continent, it's this new world, it's this new reality, it's this rebirth of life coming out, rising out of the ocean, rising out of the depths of the previous Pisces age and era. And with Uranus at this degree, the Sun coming there for, like, this is where it's happening this year, you know, like Uranus doesn't stay at the same degree all year. This just happens to be the degree where Uranus is this year as the Sun comes into the conjunction. So of course, as I'm reading the symbology, to me, this does indicate that this is a rebirth. This is a fresh start. This is a whole new world, following right on the heels of the lunar eclipse in Scorpio with the full moon that we just had. Like, that was like the ultimate, like, final culmination ending of like karmic cycles and karmic patterns on like some very deep emotional psychological levels. And now just a couple of days later, this very next week, here we are moving into this energy that's all about a new continent rising out of the ocean, a new body that is emerging, like a new like physical reality that is manifesting before our eyes out of these emotions and this watery world that we are elevating out of now. Pisces to Aquarius, the depths in the water to the air, okay? So, yeah, I feel like that's pretty descriptive of ultimately what this energy is doing, where it's leading. It's helping us to create a whole new world for ourselves. Like, the changes that are happening now are helping to break down the previous paradigm and the matrix of the past and anything that was out of alignment with authenticity and truth and value and worth, and to show us the authenticity and the truth and the value and worth and the potential and what we can do with it to begin to rebuild our reality around us in a way that is actually reflective of our true purpose and of our true value and of our true worth and our abilities and our potential, and help us to activate our destiny and to manifest that potential, right? And then to actually begin to live in a way that brings us so much more Venus in Cancer, heart and soul fulfillment, because our reality in our world is a reflection of the divine image of the divine vision of our lives and our true purpose and what our soul really needs to feel alive and feel fulfilled. So universe is actually trying to put us in a position to like have our cup overflowing, but it's just like us getting out of our old patterns and our old paradigm and our old constructs and stuff that maybe had prevented us from seeing ourselves in a way that we thought we were, you know, worthy, deserving, or capable of aligning with that version of ourselves, and therefore creating that reality for ourselves moving forward. And that's what Uranus, universe, is pushing us towards now, and that is a whole like concept of the Age of Aquarius. It's the process of self-actualization, it's the hero's journey, it's transmuting states of victimhood into states of self-mastery and co-creating our reality in alignment with the truth of our soul and our soul purpose moving forward. And you know, these transits, these activations are assisting in that process on a frequency energy based level. And that's why I call this narrating the shift of the ages, because we're seeing, you know, little bit by little bit by little bit how these changes happen to recalibrate us to become this entirely new person as this new continent emerges from the ocean. So love it, you guys. Love that that is the position of the Uranus-Sun conjunction this year. Also, the position of the Earth, 19 degrees of Scorpio. A parrot listening and then talking repeats a conversation that he has overheard. So this is knowledge that is spreading. This is something, an awakening. This is an idea, a viewpoint, a conversation that is spreading, that is like perpetuating and continuing. And perhaps that is really with Uranus being the planet that maybe is like surprising us, shocking us, or just opening our eyes to something. So very, very interesting that that would be the position of the Earth. With the Earth at that degree, there's likely to be some big unexpected news that really kind of catches on and has people talking. And it's likely to be in regards to whatever is emerging at this point in time. So that's what we have for that. Now, in terms of this aspect itself, Sun and Uranus, 19 degrees of the sign of Taurus. Today, like this energy, again, just to break it down, back to basics. It may be surprising to you somehow, or your actions may actually surprise yourself or others for some way. And this is usually because we find ourselves in a situation where for some reason we're just like more in tune with our inner self. Uranus is about authenticity. It's about potential, and it's also about awakening, and it's also about like switching things up, changing things up. With the sun there, this is our life force, okay? This is what makes us feel alive. This is what makes us thrive. This is like the basic nature that our character like seeks to express and stuff like that. When we put these two planets together, it can have a tendency to just make us more in tune with that authentic life force within us that really like animates us and brings us to life. So as I was saying earlier, you know, if people are acting weird, if people are acting strange to you, don't internalize that as there being something wrong with you. What this is just like a frequency that's impacting, you know, our crystallized antenna that we have going on in our brain and our vagus nervous system that causes us to be, for this like moment in time, just more in tune with our innate authenticity, which therefore can really open our eyes to like what is out of alignment with that in our lives and cause us to need to like step back and, you know, perhaps reconsider what we're doing with ourselves and what we're doing with our lives, and if we want to, you know, continue going in that direction. So that's just sort of what we're into whenever we have this vibration that's being activated. And that's why the fundamental meaning of this transit is that, you know, we have this strong desire to seek release from the usual routine of activity and consciousness that we experience on the mundane day-to-day level. It's like the everyday patterns in our lives just are not adequately satisfying our needs kind of in this energy, and therefore again people are likely to act in ways that are completely out of alignment with like normal behavior and normal habits. The energy seeks to, again, like get us out of any type of rut or lifeless routine, wants to re-inspire and reawaken us to really live our best lives, okay? Rebellious, revolutionary energy, like I said, freedom seeking for sure, breaking rules, breaking free from things, breaking out of the box, like generally, you know, just being, people may just be acting more rebellious and playing devil's advocate and just not falling in line perhaps maybe the way that they usually do. This can also manifest in terms of like annoying little upsets, or it can be this like big, exciting, electrifying news that just kind of hits us out of nowhere and blows our mind. This is also like, you know, that movie from like a long time ago, Ferris Bueller's Day Out, where he just like has this totally random day and does something totally out of the ordinary. Like that would definitely be something that would happen on a Sun conjunct Uranus day. This is like playing hooky energy, you know what I mean? Like this is just like totally throwing caution to the wind and like going on a whim and just following your heart and, you know, just seeking freedom and just having like a very spontaneous, like exciting, different type of day, different type of energy. But we do want to be careful, okay, with this strong Uranus energy to be able to balance this need for freedom, this need for excitement with a tendency to be maybe a bit overly rash or overly impulsive about things. Being overly rash or impulsive, as I said, or even like overly fearful about things can lead to accidents. the way that the Uranian energy can also be kind of like an accident prone energy if we're being like reckless, and if we're just like, because you know, it's very ungrounded too, like I said, and it can promote a level of like nervous, anxious tension, and just doing things so fast on such an impulse before we really think them through or take the, you know, proper cautionary measures or whatever. So we do want to try to not be like just overly rash and reckless and impulsive with things, but in the same, you know, to the same extent, we also do want to give ourselves like a little bit of freedom today to do something different and not be resisting the changes that are trying to happen in this energy. We need to try to be more adaptable today. Another thing, you know, another dimension of the energy as it's playing out, well, we have this exact activation that is happening on Tuesday, is the moon will have moved into the sign of Capricorn. Now, I find this to be very interesting as well, because the moon in the sign of Capricorn, in these earlier degrees of Capricorn, will be activating by trine both North Node in the sign of Taurus and also Mercury retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So while we have this Sun Uranus energy going on in the sign of Taurus as well, the moon is going to be activating Mercury and the North Node. The parrot talking and listening repeats a conversation he's overheard. There is something about our interactions, our conversations, our meetings, what's going on, or what we're detaching ourselves from, or the changes to plans that are going on, that is working in accordance with some type of divine timing or divine alignment or fated meeting that is helping us to grow in one way or another on a very like soul-based emotional level. The moon transiting the sign of Capricorn, forming the trine to Mercury, forming the trine to the North Node. Conversations or ideas could be also facilitating whatever is happening or playing out in this Uranian energy. There could be some very strange or unexpected conversations or meetings with people that are happening that are, you know, really just causing us to have a very unusual day or something like that. There could be very highly fated conversations or interactions. You could just have this feeling that like, wow, like that was really meant to happen, or the things that are happening in this energy having some type of big impact on where things are going next. And also there could be dimensions of the past that are coming up in this energy as well. We're talking about Mercury retrograde. We're talking about the nodes. Whenever we're talking about the nodes, we're talking about both the future and the past. So with Mercury retrograde, the moon forming the trine, this is could be also like things from the past, or, you know, readdressing things or rediscovering things, or thinking about something like from a different perspective from the past in relation somehow to like changes that we're going to make, or what we're going to do now, or what we do or don't want anymore, or these changing preferences and stuff that have also been kind of fundamental over this past couple weeks. What changes are happening now that are decisions that we're coming to as well, that we know that we need to make in order to move ourselves forward in this new energy towards like this new direction, wherever it's taking us right now, because we are in a time of some massive new beginnings as well, right? So, you know, this is, I feel, a very solution oriented day. We may be needing to look to the past, or things from the past may be coming up in the context of solutions, or you know, things that are moving us forward towards the future somehow. But that is definitely, you know, a dimension of how this energy may be playing out as well. The Sun and Uranus in the conjunction, the moon in Capricorn forming the trine to Mercury retrograde with the North Node. Also, the moon is in the opposition to Venus also to start the day, because the moon transiting Capricorn puts the moon in opposition to Venus. So money, love, partnerships, all of these Taurus dominant themes could be very important in however this is unfolding for us. Also, specifically in regards like issues with home, family, relationships, finances, safety, security, value, and worth. Like these are likely to be what we're focused on, and you know what the things that are happening are more so geared or related around as this energy plays out. Now, another thing that I am personally very happy about, on Tuesday, while we have the Sun North Node conjunction in the sign of Taurus, the North Node, which we know is also in the sign of Taurus, is the nodes are moving degrees. The nodes are changing degrees. They are finally moving. They have been at 4 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio since March 7th. So 2 full months, you guys, we've had the nodes stationary in the sky. This is actually my exact nodal axis too, like exact. I have the north node at 4 degrees of Taurus, I have the south node at 4 degrees of Scorpio, and that's literally where they have been, and they have not moved, and I have not really loved it, enjoyed it all that much, and so I'm personally very happy about this. So this is also indicating though, like, progress, like movement, like momentum in regards to destiny and karma, to, you know, the fate and you know, fortune and where we're going and where we're being pulled to in the sign of Taurus, and also the south node in Scorpio, this karmic detox process that we've been very much engaged in as well. So we had this big full moon that went on, lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio. Now we finally have the nodes after 2 months moving again. Things are happening, things are moving us forward in correspondence exactly with a simultaneous Sun-Uranus conjunction in the same sign, in the sign of Taurus. So moving forward towards karmic release, moving forward towards these new beginnings that we have going on. This is also putting the north node at the Chiron point. The Chiron point is technically 3 degrees of the sign of Taurus. That is where Chiron, the planet, was discovered originally. When we read the Sabian symbols, we look at 4 degrees of Taurus as the Chiron point. The Sabian symbol of that degree is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and it has a lot to do with value and with worth and with money and finances and economies and all that type of stuff. With the north node now at the Chiron point, you guys, and all of this Taurus energy and this Uranus energy, again, this is another indication to me that we could be on the brink of some like big financial changes, shifts, collapse, reset, like all that type of stuff. Very, very specifically indicated for this period of time, the way that the astrology is coming together for us right now. So we'll definitely see. And also when we add into it Venus, also representing money and finances and stuff like that, coming into this grand trine in water with both Saturn and the south node. This is restrictions, limitations, control and authority having to do with money that has been distorting the value and worth of things, up for breaking some type of cycle, release. And this is also an energy that's being facilitated alongside of the Sun-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus. So, you know, I personally think that we are sort of at the end of an era, which is another big dimension of this 2023 year, in terms of, you know, maybe some financial systems that have been operating for long periods of time. And I feel like that these transitions in regards to that are happening now and are about to become it's about to become more known that they're happening and that they've been going on throughout the course, you know, this week and moving through the rest of the month of May. So karmic relationship dynamics, also past relationships no longer supporting growth, potential, or distorting the truth of value, worth, and potential are being released. Huge focus on growth, huge focus on value, huge focus on potential, and getting rid of what no longer is a reflection of that, or what we no longer value, or what we no longer desire, which has a lot to do with this Mercury retrograde process as well. Mercury will be stationing direct at the end of this week, so we are wrapping up this Mercury retrograde, which was, for the most part, also a mutual reception with Venus. Had a lot to do with reconsidering what we want, what we love, what we enjoy, how we, you know, want to relate to others and stuff, and various dimensions of our relationships and dynamics, and finding out a lot of perhaps very interesting revelations and stuff like that as well. So, you know, we've gone through that process. We're nearing the end of our Mercury retrograde, and there is just likely to be this focus this week on, you know, what we truly want, what we truly value, what is holding us back from getting there, and what we're going to break free from, how we're going to change things in order to feed our heart and our soul, right? And to feel more supportive of our own personal process of growth at this point in time. So period of adjustments, period of solutions as well. And a lot of this is going to have to do with these relationship, partnership, financial based changes that are needed to rebalance things in a way that is promoting organic growth going forward. Again, you know, the Sabian symbols, the new continent rising from the ocean, this is huge, you guys. This really, I feel like, is indicating, you know, we are stepping forth into this new world, this shift, okay? I feel like it's going to begin to become a bit more obvious to people moving forward throughout the course of this next couple of weeks that like things really are kind of like changing for us in terms of just the way that things maybe have been done in the past in terms of our 3D matrix, again, like especially the financial economic things, wake up call, information spreading, gossip spreading, everybody talking about it. That could also be sort of a theme coming through this week as well. Some shocking or surprising information that everybody has kind of got on their mind and talking about. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. That is how I feel like this energy is coming together for us. A week of expect the unexpected. Uranus energy may be bringing some upsets, okay? Uranus makes the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. And so anywhere that we have been resisting doing, you know, maybe what we know that we should be doing, or even maybe where we've been unaware. This is also a planet that brings awakening. So wake up calls going on this week, you guys. And, you know, let's get into the tarot now, the tarot cards that came out today in the context of potential and possibility and what it is that we truly need to feel fulfilled and happy. Like, again, like I do feel like that kind of is what's going on. On the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands and we have the Seven of Cups. Like, what do I want to put my energy into? Like, who am I becoming right now? Like, do I want to continue perpetuating the same way of being and getting these same results? Or am I ready to discover and to pursue something new and different about, you know, my potential or what I can create? What do I want to do? What do I want to grow? What do I want to cultivate? What do I want to nourish? What have I been putting my energy into growing, cultivating, and nourishing? And is it giving me the sense of fulfillment that is a reflection of what I put into it? Is the creative energy, the Queen of Wands on the back of the deck, is the creative energy and my willpower, my enthusiasm, my passion producing the Ten of Pentacles, or the Ten of Cups, the internalized fulfillment and the balance and abundance externally that I want in my life. And now that, you know, I'm really kind of coming back to basics and looking at what I have to contribute or what I have to grow or what I have to build, is it giving me the result that I want? I feel like that's sort of essentially the message of the tarot cards today. And if it's not Seven of Cups, what can I choose? What other choice can I make that is going to lead to this sense of greater internalized fulfillment? So, you know, our cards for the day that we got the Page of Pentacles, and then we got the Ten of Cups. On the back of the deck, we had the Queen of Wands, and we had the Seven of Cups. I feel like this is talking about, am I choosing to use my energy in a way that is leading essentially like to the best results that are truly making me happy? This isn't necessarily the Ten of Pentacles. Like, this isn't, you know, the most abundant or the most like materially successful outcome. It's like, am I using my resources? The Page of Pentacles, you know, holding the world in the palm of his hand, like all the potential. Like, and then we've got the Queen of Wands, like this creative force energy. Am I using my energy in a way that is going to lead to something that feeds my soul, that brings me a level of soul fulfillment and soul satisfaction? This is less about, you know, the material outcome and results and more about the internalized fulfillment. So that I feel like is what we may be really considering as this energy unfolds this week. And maybe that is what is leading to some of our, you know, the changes that we feel like need to happen in this energy, or just the difference in our daily ongoings, or, you know, whatever we've got going on. This could be coming up like awakening in some way, or something like kind of stirring within us that is causing us to ask ourselves, like, am I putting my energy into the right places that are truly like making me happy? Or am I using my energy for some type of outcome that is like stealing in some way, or just not contributing to my sense of, you know, heart and soul fulfillment, happiness, peace, balance on those internalized levels? So that's what I feel like the tarot message was saying today, in the context of this astrology as it's coming together. Let's grab one more card now, you guys. God, Spirit, Universe, we need a synchronicity card message, some guidance or advice to help us as we are navigating the beginning of this week and the unexpected things that might be coming at us. And then here we go again. You know, we just had this card I was talking about with the Seven of Pentacles, like what choices are we making? And then the card that we got, the energy that, or the guidance, the advice we need to know, it says decide. And a house divideth, against a house falleth. Luke 11:17. When you cannot make up your mind about something, you are battling in your own mind. Your house is unstable. Come to a clear-cut decision about a situation and follow what is good and right. Stick to that decision. Do not waver. So, you know, again, like we may find ourselves in a situation this week where we really need to make some decisions, but solutions are presenting themselves to us as well. We need to be open and we need to be able to go with the flow of things. And again, like the choices and decisions that we are making this week need to honor what's going on with us on a heart and soul based level, and they need to be in alignment with these authentic truths that are exposing themselves to us in this energy right now. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. A message from the stars, a message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends if you think that they would like this type of astrology content, be into this as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I really value your feedback. So grateful for all of you. I love you guys so much. If you're having experiences that are in alignment with the energy as it's coming through, please let me know in the comment section below. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, some other social media stuff in my description box below. If you're I cannot talk. If you're interested in any of that as well, and come back with me later this week, you guys. I will put another video out on Wednesday about the energy as it's unfolding, moving us towards the weekend. All week we're in this Uranus energy, so that is the big vibe this week. All week expect the unexpected. I will be back. You should come with me. You don't want to miss it. I will see you later this week, you guys. Have a beautiful intro to the week, first couple days, and until next time, bye guys.